Do you remember when two of the greatest players of all time faced off against each other in an epic battle during the All-Star game? Well, one of the best weekends in all of basketball is coming up, so let's take a look back at the 30 greatest All-Star moments of all time. Now, we all know that Stephen Curry could shoot from literally anywhere, but this was kinda ridiculous. And the craziest part about it is that he knew the ball was going right in, and then Kobe Bryant threw up the threes. It must be awesome to get respect from a legend like Kobe. And in this next moment, Shaq was never good at free throws, so he found a way around it that even made Bill Russell laugh. They didn't end up counting it, but still, shout out for the creativity. This next shot is a lot like Curry's, and honestly, I think it looked a little too easy for Damian Lillard, so you have to watch it.
They're up 14 right now. Whoa, are you kidding me?
Luka's reaction was mine too, because I don't understand how it's so easy for these guys to shoot from that far out. Let's throw it back to 2002 when Tracy McGrady was averaging 30 points a game with ease and doing things like this during the All-Star game. And this wasn't a one-time occurrence, because he did it again in 2004 and almost took down the entire basket. DeAndre Jordan is one of the best dunkers in NBA history, and this moment in the All-Star game added to his resume of high-flying yams. At first, I thought Westbrook was shooting a floater, but then I realized it was a pass, and it was so sick. Before Ja Morant got in a bunch of trouble, he was catching lobs from Trae Young, and this wasn't a normal alley-oop. Trae threw it from half court, and Morant did a 360 to dunk it. He was literally in the air forever. Prime DeMar DeRozan was an animal, and nobody could tell me otherwise. And one of his best moments came in the 2016 All-Star game with this dunk. Now let's start a debate. Is DeRozan one of the most underrated dunkers in NBA history? Let's switch gears and go to one of the more hilarious moments in All-Star game history when Stephen Curry nearly got posterized by Giannis and then did this the next play. Honestly, I wouldn't have jumped with him either, so this was a 1000 IQ play by the babyface assassin. Vince Carter has had so many All-Star moments, but there's one in particular I want to look at here, and it's the honey dip.
All right, Vince Carter with his first on the final round.
Ladies, wait, time out.
VC put his entire arm in the basket and held himself there, which definitely takes insane strength. But I'm not gonna lie, this next dunk by Gerald Green was even cooler. If you watch the replay, you can see Green blow out the candle on the cupcake, and this wasn't even a crazy dunk, but the creativity earns it a 10 from me. Dwight Howard was always a high flyer, and he postered the big fundamental in the 2009 All-Star game. The pass from D-Wade was so sick and so perfect, and this is just a great play. I'm sorry, Timmy D. I don't mean to make this a best All-Star game dunk video, but these are just too cool to leave out, and it's no different with this Blake Griffin slam off of a steal. And then he just casually decided to jump over a car during a dunk contest, which was insane. I wouldn't recommend anyone else try this because it probably won't end well. Do you remember when Shaq and Dwight had that beef about who the real Superman was?
Superman is in the building.
I'm just saying, if all you gotta do is win a dunk contest to be called Superman, don't call me that no more. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Hey.
Well, this play shows a clear winner. This center-on-center crime in the 2009 All-Star game was definitely personal because Shaq wasn't his usual goofy self. He made the play and ran right back on defense. The All-Star game gives us a taste of what it would be like if certain players played together, and this is how I'd imagine a Curry-Giannis duo being if they were on the same team. Not only was the pass crazy, Giannis' head was legit above the rim. You've all seen this next moment when Kyrie Irving crossed up the unluckiest player in NBA history, Brandon Knight. And then he made him fall during a closeout, and honestly, it was just a bad day for our guy Knight. Let's just say it never got any easier for him, and that's probably why he's playing in Greece right now. Luka Doncic put a magical touch on this ball to make it bank in from beyond half court, and it gave the world team a 10-point lead on the USA.
Half court. 3, 2. There's 2 seconds. There's the knockdown.
I called it.
But I think the coolest part is that Trae and Luka shared this moment together, and if you remember back to the 2018 NBA draft, these two were traded for one another. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever think you'd see a game where Shaq and Kobe blocked Michael Jordan on back-to-back plays? Well, now you can, because it actually happened during the 2003 NBA All-Star game. To be fair, this was kind of a pity All-Star for Jordan, but still, these blocks were nasty on one of the GOATs. Kobe Bryant's first All-Star game was anything but boring because he put on a show for everyone watching. It was a lot of crazy dunks, and little did people know this guy was going to be one of the greatest of all time. This next one isn't really a moment, but more like an entire dunk contest, and that was the battle between AG and LaVine in 2016. These two went at it in a competition that many call the best dunk contest ever, and I agree 100%. Watching Aaron Gordon sit in air and LaVine fly from the free throw line was an iconic moment in All-Star history. Now, LaVine ended up winning, but it was very controversial. Let us know who won in the comments below. This next one isn't anything related to basketball, but you have to watch to understand. Sure, it isn't anything like a crazy dunk or play, but this is what the All-Star game is all about. Having fun. What if I told you that the best player in All-Star game history is actually only 25 years old and has the best record in the NBA right now? And that would be Jason Tatum, the man who holds the record for most points in an All-Star game in NBA history. He scored 55 points, and this dude was on a mission.
He's gonna drive.
55, double nickel for Jason Tatum.
And now for the MVP, I don't think there's much suspense. An all-time record, most points scored ever, Jason Tatum.
Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Who do you think will be the player to break it this year? My bet is Luka Doncic. Now, this is just one of the coolest moments I've ever seen, and it was on back-to-back plays. It started off with Chris Paul throwing a lob to Stephen Curry, which is really rare, but then they reversed it. This might be the only play they can do to save the Warriors nowadays. But this is the best alley-oop in All-Star Game history, and it was between Kyle Lowry, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James. Obviously, there's history between Wade and James, but the play itself looked like the Showtime Lakers. Kobe's dunks in the 2011 All-Star Game were nasty, so we definitely have to highlight some of them. Like this reverse dunk along the baseline that looks so effortless. Or when he yammed with LeBron on his trail and then gave him a tap of respect. This wasn't the only time the two faced off, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, Curry doesn't have the scoring record for an All-Star game, but he scored 50 points and made 16 threes at last year's game, so it's definitely top 10.
Just honoring the people that helped.
One-legged three, 10.
This dude was on a mission. If we're talking iconic plays, there might not be a more legendary one than Michael Jordan's free throw dunk in the 1988 dunk contest.
He took off just a little inside that free throw line, one hand and double clutch it. Magic Johnson gives him a nice 5 underneath the basket as he got out of the way.
The stars in our league need to start competing in the dunk contest again, I'm not gonna lie. LeBron snagged Kevin Hart's drink and brought it to Drake in this next moment, and then Drake proceeded to drink it, which was honestly so random, but I love it. And how about when Charles Barkley raced referee Dick Bavetta and Bavetta dove trying to beat him, but Chuck got the win. And then they shared a sus moment together. This was absolutely insane, and the TNT crew makes sure to make fun of him all the time. Now, we showed him getting blocked twice earlier in the video, but that doesn't mean that Michael Jordan doesn't have ice water in his veins. Because in the same game, he did this. Having Jordan make his iconic fadeaway to win the game in overtime during his last All-Star weekend ever was poetic, but also maybe a little scripted. Another moment that might be a little scripted was when LeBron hit this game winner in the 2022 All-Star game.
Let's do it. Cleveland. Let's do it, Cleveland.
The reason I say it's scripted is because it happened in Cleveland, LeBron's hometown, and the ending was just too perfect. And finally, we have to talk about Kobe Bryant's last All-Star game because of the history surrounding it. Specifically, this moment with LeBron and Kobe just having fun and bringing hoops back to the days where money didn't matter.
I'd say so. Dropping 15 pounds.
All right, here is Kobe going against LeBron one-on-one. To the pump fake, the fadeaway, and comes up short.
It was all for the love of the game and competition.
No, just
trying to see him just trying to dunk on me. He gonna lay it up at the end. He just trying to dunk on me, Craig. Oh, no. He just trying to dunk on me.
But a well-deserved moment. One of many for the Mamba.
Yes, the farewell tour.
This felt like a pass of the torch moment, and honestly, I loved every second of it.